Hey guys, welcome back to Scream Queen Stream. Y'all know me, I'm Jessica Cameron. By now, because this is the third installment, I hope you know this beautiful blonde, Miss Sadie Katz. If you haven't, you're going to find out more about her in this interview, so please check it out. And as always, don't forget to follow her at the links down below.
Like, Dylan was my director, Dylan Reynolds, for Nipples and Palm Trees. And when the movie came out and it was getting like through Cinema Epoch.
We don't like them here on this channel.
So I won't go. So Cinema Epoch, but they were doing we were gonna have it at the theater, and I was like, we gotta have a big party, like a big premiere. And this was kind of when everyone wasn't doing that as much. Like, this was like 15 years ago. You didn't do every movie, didn't do a step and repeat, but I convinced them to do it. I set it all up. We had a huge after party, bands playing and everything, and we split the after party with Daryl Hannah. But I had literally been giving out postcards with my son, Nipples and Palm Trees. We're handing out postcards like, I'm a star of the film. Like, besides Matthew James is the real star, the male star. I'm the female lead. Saying, come to my film, Nipples and Palm Trees. It's really great. Don't let it's sexy, fun, but it's actually a really great film. And so that did really well for me because I met a lot of people. And that's then when I realized, like, when I'm in a film, like, it's all about me supporting it. And that was the thing with House of Bad. The other girls didn't want to do any PR for it, so I did the PR.
Well, but you as somebody who's worked with a lot of people, it's tricky because, like, not so many indie actors don't get it, in my humble opinion. So it's not even so much that they don't want to, that they just don't understand that they have to. And I'll often say, they're like, do you think Jennifer Lawrence is tweeting? And I was like, no, but I think she has the money that she can pay someone else to do it for her.
Right.
And also, like, once you're a household name, you have a little bit more leeway where you can say, I'm not going to do this, right? I'm going to do this. Because you're already bringing, like, $3 million in foreign sales to the table. So people will hire you because of that. But, like, if you don't, it, like, really takes a village to make a movie. And the more people that are on board promoting and marketing and pushing it, the better. And a rising tide lifts all ships.
That's so, you know what's funny is I always say, especially with, screen queens or indie film actresses, you're your own small business. Mm-hmm. So you're promoting, you're also managing, like, what does my business look like? Like, what's the image of my business? You're doing everything, and you have to put money back into it. And it's difficult. Like, you're awesome at social media. Like, you're great at that. And I know how much time that takes. It's a daily thing, and it's not just taking selfies. It's, finding
all of the
content that's interesting so you don't look like a dick, because who wants to cast a girl who's only doing selfies or who's only in bikini shots? Like, you're like, oh, I don't really like this person, so she's not likable. And yeah, it's a really weird thing. I mean, that's where Wrong Turn did help me, because when I got Wrong Turn, I didn't realize in other countries, especially what a big film it is. My Facebook, my friends thing went, I was like watching my phone going, oh my God, dude, this 20th Century Fox film. And so I was adding everyone. I spent like a week adding people.
What did the audition look like for it, before we forget? Because I want to...
Oh, you know what? It was undercover. They didn't say what film it was. But something also kind of cool happened. I got my friend Leland, who I had done like a Playboy series. So there was like no sex, but there was... obviously nudity. Wrong Turn has a ton of nudity, simulated sex. Oh, yeah. And they need someone who's really comfortable, because you're going to Bulgaria. You're going to film in front of like 100 people, and the movie's gnarly. You're playing an incestuous cannibal. Well, he happened to call me up and say, Sadie, there's something. This film is actually a really good film, and they're going non-union because you have to go to Bulgaria, but it's 20th Century Fox, and I'm not allowed to say it, but he said, it's Wrong Turn. I didn't even know what Wrong Turn was. But I asked him, I said, will you write me a letter of recommendation? And then I called up another director, And then I sent it, which I've never done since. Sent it to the casting director, Jeff. Oh, why can't I remember his last name? I should. Who's amazing. And so I sent him my 2 letters of recommendation before I even went into audition.
And from people that knew that you did nudity. Because for me, like, that would be so important. Because for me, trying to cast nudity, you're always kind of afraid that that person's going to change their mind last minute.
And I'm
or
there
like
4
exactly.
weeks.
Or like,
So-
or like, heaven forbid, we don't shoot the nudity first for scheduling reasons. If we shoot anything with you and then you decide to change your mind about doing the nudity, that's a problem.
Well, they were like, this is a really well-trained actress. She's not a diva on set. She'll do the nudity. She's comfortable in it. I'm vouching for her. And they knew. So I end up getting 2 letters of recommendation, which is crazy weird that I wanted this part so badly. I knew, like, oh my God, the character has to have a twist. And so I knew, like, oh, this is great. And she's taking over for the 3 baddies in charge of, like, the series.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really excited. And then the day of, I think I did some coaching to make sure I nailed the audition because I was such a nervous person. I still am a nervous person. And then I got my hair blown out, like super Southern Belle, and I had hair extensions, and I got my outfit, and like I went in there and was like, got my makeup done, which I normally would never do, but there was 50 blondes in the hallway, and I was like, I'm gonna book this film. I just thought, I'm competitive, but I don't wish for someone to fail. But, I'm like, this is mine. This one I win. And I kind of walked in like, hi, I'm Sally. Like, this is definitely me. And I like nailed the audition. I knew I nailed the audition. They had the 2 producers there, and then I knew the camera guy who was taking the film, and they even had a ring light. They made sure we looked great. And then they asked me for a callback, and I was like, I have to call back. Like, then okay, great. So I got a call back, and then I go in, and they do like a nudity body check, which is really, they say they're looking for tattoos, and they're really seeing that you're gonna be okay.
You're comfortable
with
on set
nudity.
naked. And you look good naked.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
So they had like a curtain for me to go behind, and I was just being as loose and as fun, and I'd already cried in the audition and did some crazy stuff, and I just kind of went, oh, that's okay, and threw my dress off and went, and you keep your panties on, and went, boom. I said, you guys can hide my cellulite, make me look good, right? And then I was like, listen, I'll do PR, which of course I wouldn't need to, but I was like, I'll promote this film, like,
I
you
think
want to
everything
cast
else,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually like, then when I went to Bulgaria, getting that phone call was like really a big deal. I could cry thinking about it because I was going out of the country to film. They had a limo pick me up. I stayed at this really beautiful hotel. There was a lot of, they didn't tell me till the last minute. My poor aunt was on hold of whether or not she was gonna, that would be the longest I was staying away from Griffin. He was in junior high, and it was such a huge deal. And like, I had to sit him down and be like, I got cast in this movie. Now I know I've done some crazy stuff, but this one's going to be the craziest. And are you cool? And then we watched a couple of Wrong Turns, and I was like, oh my God, this is a gnarly movie. The Wrong Turn 1's good, and the other ones are great. But Wrong Turn 6 production value, they put more money into it, and they had changed directors. Not that I'm saying anything is wrong with, is his name Declan
O'Brien.
Declan. Okay, sorry, Declan.
I want to say he did. I know he did 5. I auditioned for 5. I didn't get it. They actually aged the character up. Like when I went in. Well, it doesn't make any sense. Like when I originally went in, it was, and keep in mind, like this is years ago, so I'd even say like I wasn't really going out for 30s at the time,
Right.
and she was supposed to be like the small town sheriff, which also I was like 30s
I
is
know the
probably
character you're talking
yeah.
about. You would have been
she's
good
young.
for that.
Well, but then they ended up like going out again after I did the first round of auditions, and then they ended up trying to cast her in her 40s, which made sense because you're like, how can you be like a small town female sheriff when you're 30? Like
5 is gnarly.
Yeah.
The ending of 5, you're like, ugh.
I think I like 4. I love 4. 4 is amazing.
4 is really good.
And the second, obviously, I love Jill Lynch and, Matthew Curry-Home. They're all freaking great. So Wrong Turn 2 is special to me.
It helps everyone. Like, that was the one thing of why it was so exciting is like, you're like, oh, I'm walking around at Wrong Turn 6. But the thing was, everyone who'd done these movies had continued acting just about. Mm-hmm. So it was like that's why it was important to me, because I was at the time like, I just need a bigger win, and also the confidence of like being on that set. But honestly, I've ran into so many people where I'm like, oh, did you audition for Wrong Turn 6? Like that was like the film everyone was auditioning for, because you don't get a lot of non-union.
I didn't do Wrong Turn 6. I literally only did for 5. But yeah, no. But I can't imagine a better person for the role. So,
well, thank you. It just was something. The character was very similar to what I had written in Scorned. So that, and I had like a vendetta. Like, I'm gonna get this film and be like, okay.
But it's nice when you feel like, at least being part of such an established franchise, you also know too that your work is going to get shown. I don't know about you, but it can be so heartbreaking to put your heart and soul on the line for a movie and work your ass off, and then 5 years later accept the fact that nobody will see it.
It did, right? Well, that happened a little bit with my doc, The Bill Murray Experience. Is Gravitas Ventures, you guys, picked up the film, but the people who bought the film, they switched hands at Gravitas, like the month that they bought the film. Gravitas, like the thing, I was super stoked, like, oh, my film gets picked up. But the thing is, I'm always screaming, if you're not on the scroll, your movie doesn't exist. Like, it may exist in our little, like, LA horror community, but if you don't get on the scroll of like Amazon and you look it up and like the horror films that are out, not a lot of people are going to see your movie. And it's a lot of work to do a movie, even if you're getting paid, you're making money, but your goal is for people to see your work. Mm-hmm. It's like,
but everyone's goal is to see it. Right. That sound guy will get more work if 4,000 people see the movie that he did sound on, as opposed to 400. And he's going to get more work if 40,000 people see it, and then more work if 400,000 people see it.
Yeah, it's gnarly too, because if you don't have that, it's like you're spinning your wheels. Mm-hmm. You're just going like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, or so you're always hoping like, is it on the scroll? And that's I don't think distributors are honest about that.
No.
And they're like, oh, we'll get your film out there. Well, there's a ton of films, so there's only so much Facebook. They're like, oh, buy Facebook ads. Like, how many times have you seen a Facebook ad and gone, stop,
right?
I gotta look up that film. And so, that's why you do a lot of promoting, mm-hmm. so people know the film's out there. You're hoping when they see it on the scroll, they click on it, or they've just heard you enough that they're like, oh, I'm bored and I want to watch a film and I should check out this film, and Jessica Cameron, or Sadie Katz. Like, you're hoping that. But it is maddening.
It is. It's so maddening. And we need more like open and honest communication about like what works and what doesn't. I feel like so many times filmmakers are, and even like actors too, are like, nobody wants to say anything bad. And I'm like, there's a difference between saying an honest experience and then maliciously attacking someone. So I can tell you, like, that, hey, look, my film was signed over with this company, and these are the things that I don't feel like they did well. And that's not something that should be held against me as far as looking bad. It should be open communication.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to call them names. I'm not going to act like a child or be unprofessional. But if I say, they said that they would sell it in these territories, they were unable to sell it in these territories, the communication wasn't clear and concise, that's all just professional, business stuff. Like, if I was a real estate agent and I was discussing a title company who was acting the same way, that shouldn't look bad on me. And I feel like oftentimes as women especially, people always want us to be like the catty or the bitchy one. And you're like, no, this is just my realistic experience. Right. And I'm hopeful that at least my bad experience could save somebody else's time. And time is really, I'm always saying this, I've believe it's our most valuable asset. It's the only thing we can't buy more of. People sometimes, especially in Hollywood, think it's money. It's not. We can all get money. You can get another job, you can get a gig, whatever, but we can't buy more time. We only have X amount of time in our day on this planet, and we don't know how much that's going to be. So using it wisely, to me, is what I try to do and encourage others to do, which is where like an open communication is crucial. But before we get too far, I do want to go back to Wrong Turn 6, because for those of you who don't know, Wrong Turn 6 shot in Bulgaria, right? So if you guys are not familiar with independent films, Bulgarian crews are known to be very large because they're paying a low day rate, and they're not always the people that are the most experienced. It's like people that have 2 hands, 2 feet, and in theory they're capable.
Who, like your DP is great.
Of course,
we have dolly
people
cranes,
you bring
we
in,
have everything.
absolutely.
But like, there's 100 crew members.
Yeah,
you're right. So I mean,
not all of them are people that like this was like their passion. They happen to be like So one of the things that's so funny. So before Wrong Turn, a friend of mine who I won't mention because I don't want to throw him under the bus, but he said like he had the hardest time with the art departments because they don't understand legalities.
Him too. Oh, interesting.
He caught it. He caught it though first, because like, so America, we have very specific laws, right? And we have specific laws to prevent people's image, photo, likeness from being utilized if they haven't signed away those rights. But in places like Bulgaria, this is a foreign concept to them because they don't have those same laws. So you really need to like kind of babysit them in that regard to make sure that they're following the American rules. So what happened with Wrong Turn 6, there's a missing persons board, and somebody in the art department told somebody else, who I'm sure told someone else, who probably told someone else, like, get us missing person pictures, and did not clarify, or at least not enough, that they should be not utilizing real missing persons. So this person went online, basically Googled missing persons pictures, and then printed them out, and it made it onto the wall in the movie, which is all kinds of illegal, because like you don't have permission to use their images, not to mention morally unethical, because these are
a real missing person. Yeah.
And I believe it was a grandmother.
It's a grandmother who looked like a man because of the way they did the picture. Or maybe it was vice versa. It was a man who looked like a woman in the picture for, because it's all fuzzy. Yeah. Well, and you got to remember, the producer speaks English. The crew is Bulgarian, so they took it very literal about the missing person. So yeah, the family finds out, and not only that, they also find their missing relative, and the person's dead. So it's now really sad.
It's so sad.
It's so sad. So the movie. Now, this is wild. The movie, there's only been 3 movies ever that were banned and yanked off the shelf. This is one of them. The movie comes out. 2 weeks later, they're like...
And it wasn't found out during the theatrical run. It was found out like upon the DVD release, right? Yeah. So it's like everywhere on the shelf. So by the way, like for those of you who are not movie savvy,
Target,
millions upon millions of dollars have been spent to not only make these copies, but then ship them, get them on the shelves. Like this is a
Walmart, everything.
And it's so expensive to do this.
Now the family ends up being actually a really nice family. Instead of suing, like these are obviously really good people. I think they were German. Instead of suing 20th Century Fox, they make a deal that they'll yank all the movies off the shelf. So imagine my movie comes out. I'm like, oh my gosh, great. I'm getting good reviews, and for the most part, from these magazines and everything. And then they're like, we're yanking all your movies off the shelf. And like, I'm thinking it's not gonna, okay, that's it. Like, I'm sort of crying about it, but also like, well, it's a banned film. There's something interesting. But then they go back in, fix the movie, blur out. So if you watch the movie, you'll know if you're watching an old version or a new version. You'll see that the new version, any pictures in the background are fuzzed out. I will say something else about the pictures. A very odd moment when I'm filming. I'm supposed to have been more incestuous, so through the years everyone looked like me. So we have this wall of family photos, and I'm in this huge, it's practically like a palace. It's just gigantic. And this is where we're supposed to be living, the Hillikers live. And I'm looking at it's a resort. And I'm looking at the wall, and I start looking at the picture, and I'm like, that woman in like a 1900s outfit, that's me, that's my face, and that's my face from my graduation photo, and that's my face from this photo. So they just went on like my Facebook and my MySpace and took the pictures, and like the props like got it done. I wasn't upset about it, but I was like, oh my God, like these are pictures from my life.
But also, like, technically, if it was done by a professional photographer, the professional photographer could sue them. Like,
sure.
There's like,
yes.
there is, in America, there are.
So now all of the pictures, if you look in the background, they're all blurry, so you can't see their face, which is kind of a cool thing. So it ended up working to my advantage.
The photos of you,
yes,
are blurry.
They just went ahead and went, fuck it.
Yeah, everything's blurred.
Everything's blurred. And what's kind of cool about it is then the first series, if you have Wrong Turn, the first edition, those are collectors, and people bring them to me to sign, and they're like, oh my God, so it's very cool. So 20th Century Fox was genius because they realized, they'll end up making, people who collect this movie will want both. So they put it back on the shelves, and, a lot of people were like, this is the original and this is the new one. And it's kind of
But it
cool.
took them how long to get it back on the shelves? Because it was like a multi-month process, right? It wasn't a quick
maybe it was, God, it's so weird that I don't remember because it was such a big part of my life, but I was also doing my doc, and I was always moving. I think it took a good 3-4 months.
Yeah.
I mean, there was,
because by the time you remove something and then make the changes and get it repressed, repackaged, reshipped,
well, they had to decide because they had the lawsuit. So they had to decide that. But I don't think it was that long because they wanted to keep the momentum of Wrong Turn, the people have been talking. I mean, Wrong Turn series is like one of those series that people they kind of love to hate. Like a lot of things, they love to be like, why are they still making these movies? But people are watching them and have online debates of what's the best one, and I like 2 or 4, like a lot of franchise movies. And some people were really upset that there was too much sex in Wrong Turn 6. Some people really liked it. That we were supposed to do a 7 because my character, spoiler alert, lives with only one leg and a melted face. But I'm having sex with my brother, and my other brothers are watching, and I'm on a pedestal. And they were supposed to do a 7, but things got, understandably, 20th Century Fox wasn't that happy about what had happened, I think. And
yeah, that would have cost them millions of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a big deal. The film budget was $5 million in Bulgaria, which is a lot of money in Bulgaria. So the film was a hefty, good-sized budget. But so now they're remaking Wrong Turn and from the beginning, and of course I have nothing to do with it. But I'm excited to watch it because I'm kind of a fan, and we should watch it together.
Yeah, we'll do a hot tub horror movie review. I really want to do that anyway, because we did one of Joe Lynch's Netflix movies.
Yeah.
Because I love him, so I want to do Wrong Turn 2 really badly because I do think that he'd get such a kick out of it, and obviously I'm friends with Matthew Carey Holmes, who's one of the stars, and I just think it's
you should have
a fun
them
little
come.
walk down. Yeah,
you should have them come and watch it. Yeah. Which, I mean, the movies they're kind of in their own genre. Wrong Turn led to me getting Blood Feast because Marcel Waltz saw me at Wrong Turn, and he's like, that's Scottish Ishtar, which was crazy. And another, the same kind of, these are gore porn almost. They're just really, really gory, and people cheer in the audience when the kills happen because they're so over the top and kind of original and bloody, which is very odd in a fun way. I mean, there's something, I understand it now. At first I was like, oh my God. But, it's special effects and fun. And so, and they're almost Wrong Turn has cheekiness. I mean,
It does.
unabashedly
And it's almost
horrible.
like self-aware. That's I think why I
Yes.
like number 4, because I feel like everyone's very much aware of the camera, and I really appreciate that. I just think it's very cheeky.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's weird is, like, they used English actors for ours. You know, Anthony, who's the lead.
I know Anthony. I worked with him on The Tombs in London.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh, I know a lot of stories about that. Yeah.
Well, I would shoot The Tombs maybe a couple years after.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh my God, that's great. And I love him, and we're still friends, and he just did a project with me in Paris. So that's cool. And
such a
Anybody
small
his
world.
girlfriend, yeah. So yeah, isn't that
I love his
weird?
girlfriend. Met her
Yeah.
too. She was also on The Tombs.
Oh, she's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it like what?
Small world.
It's super small. Like the film community, whether it's horror, indie, or mainstream, it's pretty small. Like everyone knows. You look on your IMDb and you're like, I'm connected with 800 people. Like, how is that possible? So I mean, there's something kind of fun about that. Once you're in, you're in.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
completely.
like herpes. You're not getting rid of it.
Well, thank you so very much for joining me. This is part 3 of the interview with Miss Sadie Katz. So stay tuned for more parts as well as a rapid fire segment. I'm going to link everything to do with Sadie down below. So you want to know everything about her life, just check out the links below and engage. Follow her on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Check out her documentary and her other films. And also, while you're there, don't forget to hit the like button down below and also subscribe. And check out the Screen Queens Dream Patreon. The Patreon helps support the channel, and you can get signed swag, cool hangouts, and other cool stuff. And also, we'll take your suggestions for which hot tub horror movie reviews we should do next. I don't know about you, but I think we need a new hot blonde in the hot tub, and I think I might have a link to one. Stay tuned.